What's shaking YouTubenites? Welcome to the Cover Price Shaker Show for July 17. Even July is going way too fast, guys. I don't know about you. Do you feel like it's just flying right by? Flying right by?
Not hot enough. Not hot enough.
Oh, shut up.
No way, man. It is not hot enough yet.
It is ridiculously hot here.
Dude, it's Las Vegas, and we've had 110 degrees maybe once or twice. Like it's
crazy hot up here in Canada, which is weird. But the Shakers list this week is also hot. So let's fire up the ones and twos and let's kick off the show. Here we go.
Thundercats!
Thunder. It's so good. So good, yo.
That got me hyped up, dude. Like I'm in a good mood now with that song. That made it work.
My favorite part is the guitar riff that he does right in the middle. That he was like, yeah.
It's so funny because Gabe was spot on. Before we even went live, Gabe was like, you guys got to use the Thundercats tonight. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. And he said something that is very accurate. The theme song is probably better than the show. You want to fight me? You want to debate that? Comment it below. But yeah, I think the theme song.
I will say that the Thundercats has a damn good logo. I'll give them that. Okay, it's an iconic logo, a great song, a terrible show.
Yeah, that show's whack, dude. It's so weird. Cool toys though. I remember the toys being pretty cool, but you were really just reenacting the theme song. Like that.
The toys are still great. Toys are still great. Toys will always stand the test of time. But all right, guys, let's kick off the show. Before we do go around the horn, let's say hello to the guys, man. What's going on, Gabe?
Man, it's another great day. Thanks for having me on, everybody. San Diego Comic-Con's next week, man. I wish I was going. I missed that show. I used to go to that show every year. I mean, like every year for like 20 years straight. Man, but I hope everybody who is going is gonna have a good time, man, because San Diego is my favorite convention to go to. Not so much for the con itself, because the con itself isn't as comic centric as I would like, but the after parties, the nightlife after the show, you spill out into that gas lamp district. That's the best part. That's what it's all about. Is just walking up and down, bar hopping, restaurant hopping. It's the best. That's the best. Usually when you go to a con, you're stuck with whatever junk food they have at the hotel or like fast food that's around the corner.
Nah.
But in San Diego, you get top-notch food out there. Seafood right off the ocean too. It's great.
You know one thing, man, I feel like con get-togethers, especially when you know, like us, right? Like we all live across the, Canada, the United States. When you come together at a con, I think the con's fun, but it's really what takes place afterwards that we all look forward to.
Absolutely.
And I got a feeling that this year San Diego Comic-Con is just going to be comic blind bags as far as the eye can see.
Yeah. I see
everywhere.
I see.
You got blind bags for you. You want blind bags? We got blind bags.
What is it? Is it 2020 all over again with everybody doing mystery boxes? Like, wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
around.
There's actually some pretty cool ones that are available for San Diego Comic-Con. Gabe, I've never been. You went 20 years straight. I just want to do one. That's my bucket list, and then I could cross that off. But hopefully sometime soon. But
dude, it's comic nerd mecca. Like, you got to go there and pray. Like, that's the place.
No kidding. But Chris, man, tell us what's up, dude.
Oh man, I'm so happy to be here. This show is my therapy. With all the stuff going on with my job, and I mean, don't worry, everybody. I am gainfully employed. There's just a lot of work that has to be done, and at the same time, I'm juggling my master's program. This show is my escape, and I am so happy to be here, holding up the fort, if you will, with these two fine gentlemen. So, hey, man, let's talk some comics.
Hell yeah, dude. I agree with you. This is the first time I noticed that you don't have your Andre the Giant behind you. And look at those amazing masks, dude.
Oh, yeah. I redid my background. I was very lucky at a recent flea market. I managed to pick up almost every single mask here, with the exception of the Iron Man. I already had that one. But every single mask here I got for $50 each. And I also got the Infinity Gauntlets, the Infinity Gauntlets. It was a crazy deal, and it's a great background, man. I love it. I love it.
The Infinity Gauntlet comes up clutch. When my kids get out of line, I make sure to put that thing on, and I'm like, hey, don't make me snap. Don't make me snap. There you go. But all right, guys, let's kick off the show. Of course, this is the Shaker Show, and this list comes from our friends over at Cover Price, focusing on new high sales or the most interesting sales found on their exclusive daily Shaker list. Now, this list does change several times every single day, so make sure to check it every day to review some of the hottest trending books on the market. And to kick it off, Gabe, what do we got for Shaker number one?
All right, number one, man. We're coming up with some Superman fun already with All-Star Superman number one logo. It's a 2024 San Diego Comic-Con. Speaking of San Diego Comic-Con, foil reprint that was limited to only 500 copies. So James Gunn's Superman has reignited interest in this series, with Gunn citing it as being a major inspiration for the cinematic introduction of the DCU's Gods and Monsters saga, even going so far as making it required reading for his cast and crew. The crew had to read it too? All right. This 2024 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive foil reprint is making waves in the aftermarket, everybody. Limited, that's right, to just 500 copies. Collectors are snapping it up as both a premium display piece and a promising long-term hold. So this week, we saw a raw near mint plus copy hit an all-time high of $300, which is a massive leap from its current raw near mint fair market value of $76. Graded copies are starting to surface, with the 9.8 fair market value starting at $217, with the movie pulling in $217 million in the global box office this opening weekend. Enthusiasm around Gunn Superman and its source material is going hardcore. For a book that debuted less than a year ago, the aftermarket heat highlights two key points: scarcity, since there's only 500 copies made, and culturally relevance. This one checks both boxes. This foil edition continues to soar as Gunn takes flight. Well, with Superman being the keystone of the entire Gods and Monsters storyline, this limited reprint feels like an early win for collectors.
Yeah, man.
It's funny. This is a required reading because they didn't really take too much from this series. I mean, they had like the robots and stuff like that, but wasn't too much from this series that was pulled out of it. But either way, this is just required reading no matter what. Like, this is a fantastic 12-issue series. Grant Morrison, who's one of the best writers out there. Let me take that back. He's a really great writer. He's hit and miss for me sometimes, to be honest. But Frank Quietly on the artwork, man, that guy is cooking on all cylinders in this series. This is like some of his best artwork is coming out of All Star Superman.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
So I understand this being required reading because there have been so many different iterations of Superman over the years, right? So many different takes, so many different interpretations. I know that they didn't take a lot from the story, but the personality of All-Star Superman, in my opinion, was definitely reflected in the movie. It had that kind of feel. We weren't inundated with an origin story. We weren't inundated with, you know, the abbreviated Smallville piece. It was just, hey, here's Superman. He got his butt kicked, and we're gonna tell you all about it. And that's what the movie was. And it was amazing. It was so good. And okay, yeah, it didn't copy the story, but it hit all the same personality traits that All-Star Superman had. And I thought it was a knockout of the park. I thought the movie was fantastic. Now, here's what I don't understand. I don't understand why the original cover and the Neil Adams 1 of 10 are not spiking. If you have this is a printed for scarcity kind of situation, whereas a 9/8 from 2006 and the original covers were kind of that cardstock, like glossy cardstock. But in 2006, Superman was struggling to find readers, and I believe that 1 of 10 Neil Adams cover is a very hot commodity, so much so that as I was reading this list, I went ahead and picked one up online for $10.
That's where your money where your mouth is, my friend.
Good for you. Yeah, good pickup.
Yeah, not only is it Neil Adams, who's an amazing artist, it is what could be a character-defining story arc for Superman, especially if the James Gunn universe continues to go forward the way it is going. And we will see this comic pop, in my opinion, the original printing and the 1 of 10 variant by Neil Adams.
Yeah, I hope to be that is going to be the case, of course. But dude, can't go wrong with Neil Adams, absolute legend. Obviously, you know, rest in peace. But back to Superman. This is a very interesting one. Gabe, you were just talking San Diego Comic-Con, and here we see a 2024 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I could only imagine what kind of Superman exclusives we're going to get now with all the love behind the movie. I agree with you, Chris. For me, it was a home run. I loved the movie. It was great. I'm going to keep it spoiler-free and just leave it at that. But yeah, it was so well done. And here we have, guys, All-Star Superman #1, the 2024 San Diego Comic-Con logo foil reprint. That was limited to 500 by DC from 2024 with a top sale for a raw near mint plus at $300. Guys, I love me some Superman, but the guy who got me into comics is this guy right here. So what do we got, Chris, for #2?
Yeah, here we got the Amazing Spider-Man #8, which features a classic Vulture on the cover, and that's what Lando's talking about. He's not talking about Spider-Man, he's talking about Vulture. No, but all kidding aside, we all want classic Spider-Man covers. This is a classic Spider-Man cover, as are all of the early Amazing Spider-Mans, all of the pre-60, number 60 and below. They're all amazing covers, classic keys, and and also very highly sought after. While Amazing Spider-Man 48 is considered a classic key, it does feature a character taking on the guise of an already classic villain. After Adrian Toomes, the original Vulture, is imprisoned, his cellmate, Blackie Drago, manipulates him into revealing where his Vulture gear is hidden. Drago then escapes and becomes the new Vulture, using the wingsuit to go on a crime spree, ultimately battling Spider-Man. This issue was written by Stan Lee and drawn by John Romita Sr. Romita's art really defined Spider-Man for generations. Although not as valuable as issues of major first appearances, such as ASM 50 for Kingpin, it still holds the decent value in higher grades and is sought after by Silver Age collectors. Recently, a 9.8 from 1967 sold for $5,280.
Wow, that's huge coin. Huge
That's
coin.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Classic book. You can't go wrong. Gabe, what do you think of this?
Man, I just want to know where all these 9/8 are coming from. Like, even Chris has been talking about it before about its 70s books, but now we're kind of getting into like the late 60s, and these 9/8 are starting to pop up. Man, that is just very interesting. That is very cool to see. I would love to see this book. I don't know if it was sold on eBay or Heritage or whatever, because seeing these books in like super high grade is awesome, because that's what it looked like when it first came off the press, more or less. That's great to see this kind of stuff. I'm going to see it.
I agree with you. I agree, dude. Like, we see this one in a 9/8. We've been seeing a lot of like these types of books from the 60s popping up, man. 9/8s. I'm seeing a lot of Spider-Mans, to be honest.
Yeah. You want to know something interesting? If both of you could just take a guess, how many 9/8s do you think are on the census for this book?
Just so take more than one, then. That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm going to say 12. You said how many?
I'm going to go with 5.
There are 14.
Oh!
14 9.8s on the census. And 53 9.6s.
In Price is Right terms, I was under the
That's right.
The coin. Yeah. I'm good. Take that, Gabe.
We were both under, but you were closer. So
there you go. That's it. That's how it works.
$1.
$1. Gabe went with the $1. But yeah, man, it's crazy to see these beautiful book to have. Of course, in a 9/8, that's I actually think 5,000 is actually not too bad.
Yeah.
Am I crazy? Is it because I love Spider-Man?
No, I mean, to have a near mint plus of a book from 1967, even though it's not like an infamous, famous cover or iconic, or honestly, it's really not that great of a cover. Sorry, John Romita. Yeah. But it's just cool to see that there's a 9/8. Well, apparently there's 14 9/8s out there. So that's just an incredible feat to bear, even though there's that many out there.
Here's the thing that I like about this cover. You don't see Vulture's face, right? So the Vulture was imprisoned. You look at this cover, you think the Vulture got out. How did that happen? And then you figure out that it's a different Vulture. I think it's clever. I think it's clever the way that they did it.
Yeah, absolutely. But guys, Amazing Spider-Man, issue 48 by Marvel from 1967. Had a top sale for a CGC 9/8 at $5,280. All right.
About the price of a slightly used Kia.
Yeah, no, totally beat the shit Kia is what it is. But anyways, what do we got up next, Gabe?
Give me a second. I closed my email like a jerk. All right, number 3. Oh, this one's dope. All right, number 3. Dark Horse presents Aliens Platinum Edition, like a rapper, from Dark Horse, 1992. That was a good year. H.R. Giger said, "My paintings seem to make the strongest impression on people who are crazy. If they like my work, they are creative, or they are crazy people. We as comic collectors fall into either or both of those groups. It's definitely both. We're all crazy. We got a sickness with collecting." Giger is credited with designing the xenomorphs from the Aliens films franchise. His biomechanical art style has had a haunting influence on sci-fi and horror genres ever since, because they all look like penises. Dark Horse made a strategic move to license Alien and found immediate success. Dark Horse has printed several short stories in her Dark Horse Presents anthology series. This particular comic, though, printed those 5 anthology stories all together for the first time, and they were colored, as they were originally black and white. Simon Beasley, another crazy cool artist, known for his rough edge Frank Frazetta inspired style, drew this cover, which was heavily influenced by Giger's style. Dark Horse published both a regular format and a prestige platinum edition. The platinum edition is our shaker this week with a sale of a 9.8 copy that went for $250.
That's amazing, dude. I've never seen this cover, and I gotta say the work is stunning, dude.
Yeah, this is beautiful. This is a thing of nightmares, and I want it. This is great. This is like a cross between, I know it's, of course, Giger, Bisley, and for some reason I'm seeing like a little Sam Keith in here somewhere too. For some reason,
a little bit, yeah. It's the body proportions. It's just a little. It's like that uncanny valley where it's very uncomfortable to look at, and you can't exactly tell why. And I think for me, it has to do with not being able to tell exactly what it is that I'm looking at when I look at the body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's wicked. I really like this, dude.
Yeah, well, it's a headless body, and then it's the xenomorph, the tail with the head on it. This thing is gnarly.
Yeah,
gnarly.
Yeah, probably one of my new favorite Aliens covers ever.
And if this was a collection of the first 5, then that means that this was square bound, which means it was never cracked open.
Yeah, if it's a 9.8, that's for sure. But then again, we're seeing 9.9s with spine ticks nowadays. But anyways, that's not today's topic. What is Dark Horse Presents Aliens Platinum Edition by Dark Horse from 1992 with a top sale for a CGC 9.8 at $250. Pretty impressive. This cover's totally on my radar now. All right, Chris, what do we got up next?
Well, let the Ophir Abyss gravity continue to suck you in, because we have the fabulous Furry Freak Brothers #4 first printing 75-cent version by Ripoff Press in 1975. We've seen a rise in classic underground books getting a renewed look, especially those from the mind of Gilbert Shelton and Dave Sheridan. We've covered Shelton's famous Zap comics in the recent market report, but this entry is all about the fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. This issue is highly coveted for its slapstick humor and one-liners that would make grandma blush. Still, the real draw for collectors is the epic story called The Seventh Voyage, A Mexican Odyssey, where the main characters go on an adventure to secure some dope, some Mary Jane, some weed. Back in the day, it was counterculture, and then it was the draw. It would go on to become one of the most iconic stories produced for the run, which leads us to today. Collectors want a piece of the original, and they are gravitating towards this book. Recently, a 9.8 copy, one of 3 on the census, hit the market and sold for $528, with the closest comparable sale being a CGC 9.4 that sold for $245 last year. So that's a double up, easy. When the pickings are slim, collectors are having to pay up to secure a premium grade, despite raw copies floating around for between $10 and $20 for a first print. So I have a number of these classic underground comics. All of them have terrible paper quality, absolutely terrible. And with the exception of the ones that are cardstock, and then the interiors are really, really poor. So 9.8 from 1975. Somebody must have, discovered this press between the books of their Encyclopedia Britannica, where they were hiding it from their grandma.
Oh yeah, they had it right there next to their Bible.
Yeah, pretty much in a 9.8, dude. I've never read any of this, so this is like uncharted territory for me. This is something totally out of the norm. I'm not familiar. Are you guys any? Does this speak to you at all?
I've never read these before, same as you, Lando. I've come across them plenty of times, and the cover art's cool. But I've never cracked one open. I never cared enough to look inside.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like, I feel like if I came across this book, I'd stare at the cover, just like you said. I'd be like, wow, that's a cool cover, and then keep rolling. But to see a CGC 9.8 at 528, I would have been a fool to scroll right over that one.
Yeah, so this is the kind of cartoony stuff that you get from like Mad Comics or Cracked or Crazy Comics, the magazines. That's that kind of the bubbly art style on the faces. I know that the read mentioned Dave Sheridan, but I don't think this is a Dave Sheridan cover. I believe this is a Shelton. And Gilbert Shelton and Dave Sheridan, they did a lot of work on these independent comics that were like, controversial for controversial sake, right? Where they're ripping off Superman in order to get press. Let me click on something real fast here. Okay, yeah, I guess Dave Sheridan did do work on this series. And Dave Sheridan did also a lot of work on Mad and Cracked and like High Times and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely an audience of people who love that classic pothead cover work. It's pretty popular, and yeah, it's a good thing to grab if you ever dig in and you see one of these weird covers that looks like Mad Magazine on the inside. Grab it because it's probably an underground comic and it might be worth a gem.
Yeah, very interesting. But the fabulous Furry Freak Brothers issue number 4, first printing, which is the 75-cent version, rip-off press from 1975, had a top sale for a CGC 9.8 at $528. All right, guys. I've been waiting all night for this one. Let's get into it. There's only one way to read this. Let's go.
Is there one way to read it? I don't get it. I'm lost.
Yeah, there is. You have to scream the name. You can't just say
I go, Mortal Kombat!
There you go.
Blood and Thunder #1. This is a hologram variant from Malibu Comics. Good old Malibu. 1994. So Cover Price covered this book back in June of 2024 when announcements and information for the second Mortal Kombat film were being dropped. Well, this week we've gotten 2 trailers released for the second film. One was an 80s inspired trailer for Johnny Cage, and the other was the official trailer that dropped today. Fans seem to be excited for the film based on the online chatter, and the film seems to be introducing a ton of fan favorites. While the entire Blood and Thunder series published by Malibu has continued to slowly climb up in price, this hologram variant has yet again set a new high. Last year, there was a CGC 9.8 copy that sold for $675. But that was passed up this week when another 9.8 sold, Jesus Christ, for $1,000. This sell marks an all-time high in any grade. Previously, that top spot was held by a 9.9 copy that sold for $715. As this film approaches, we will keep an eye on all early Mortal Kombat books to see if any other books start setting high prices. $1,000 for this book, dude, in a 9.8. And there's a 9.9 out there. So it's not like this is like the highest grade or the best copy or whatever the case is, but $1,000 for this. That is nuts. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's completely nuts. I have this in the regular version, by the way. I had no idea the hologram is now hitting this.
Yeah. So the hologram covers for the 90s Malibus were a really, really thick cardstock, which was good because if you could keep it in good condition, it would stay in good condition. But it was bad because if you had even the slightest amount of pressure on the spine, you would get, I mean, what's the equivalent of a color break? You know what I mean? I have a
probably
few.
be accentuated by the hologramness.
That's
of
right.
it too.
I've got a few of the hologram covers from Malibu for the Ultraverse series. Because
Ultraverse.
I love the Ultraverse. Prime is my favorite comic book character of all time.
I need some of those holograms, Chris.
Well, they're in my personal collection, so you're not getting them. The gold ones are the really, really hard ones to find, and those still catch a premium these when you can find them. But Mortal Kombat, you know, if this movie does good, I can expect to see more of these price jumps. Help me remember the first Mortal Kombat of the new reboot. The biggest criticism was that the main character was not a character that we knew, right? Remembering that correctly?
I really don't care for the character, or like not one bit. And
but that was the problem, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
the actual characters from Mortal Kombat are what I want to see. Now today's trailer gave me exactly that. I didn't even see the character from the first film, which although he is going to be in the film, I really hope they just give him a fatality out the gate and let's get into Mortal Kombat. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? But I'm excited because from the trailer, guys, you saw it was very focused around Johnny. You had Johnny Cage at the front and center of this trailer, and then the amount of people they showed within this trailer, we got to even see fatalities, which looked amazing. A lot of them felt very copy paste from some of the recent games that just came out, to Johnny Cage giving the middle finger while putting the glasses on. That is exactly a cutscene from the video game. So I love this. I'm excited. I think Mortal Kombat's about to get it right for number 2. They did not get it right at all for Mortal Kombat 1 that came out during the pandemic.
They need to resolve the issue with, you know, death not being permanent. How can we resolve that, right? Because if you kill off the characters that everybody loves, then you're going to lose your fans. So how do you square that circle in this movie franchise? I want to know how they're going to do that, because if you bring in all these characters and you kill them off, because they're going to fight each other, right? And there's only one winner.
Yeah. I don't think everyone's going to start, you know, biting the bullet. I think we'll see some supporting casts, those lower tier characters, let's say the B-listers, the D-listers. They'll be biting the bullet.
Reptile, okay.
Yeah, I don't see Liu Kang biting the bullet. I don't see Raiden biting the bullet. Johnny Cage. So we'll see. But I'm excited. It's safe to say lots of people excited. I saw a lot of positive things online. I don't know why Jade looks like Mr. Clean, but we'll find out when the movie drops. So we'll take it from there. But enough Mortal Kombat. Let's just move on to the next one. So, guys, Mortal Kombat Blood and Thunder number 1, hologram variant by Malibu from 1994 had a top sale for a CGC 9.8 at $999. Very impressive, man. Love to see this. Guys, we're at the halfway mark. I also want to remind you, so please, if you're enjoying yourself, hit the like button, hit subscribe if it's your first time here, and if you're catching the replay, comment below. Let us know what you guys think of tonight's list. And speaking tonight's list, what do we got next?
Number 6, so we got Pictures and Stories from the Bible, the Complete Life of Christ edition. This is the 25-cent cover price edition from EC Comics in 1944. Let me tell you guys something. Whenever I'm digging through my my local reseller here, I'm always looking for Christian comics.
But it's interesting because we just went from Mortal Kombat to Moral Kombat at this point.
There you go.
This is another Mortal Kombat if you think about the fatalities in it.
That's true. Yeah. And they figured out how the death permanence problem, right? Christian comics, they sell really, really well on the aftermarket, even if they are just beat and the covers detached, because they're so low print runs, and most of them were just thrown away. So if you're digging through long boxes and you find Christian comics or faith-based comics, grab them, especially if they're 80s or earlier.
Or
And
Christian Archie comics. Archie put out a bunch of comics through like a Christian network.
Absolutely. And this is a perfect example of that. Now, this being a 1944 EC Comics makes it especially rare. But when it comes to EC, most consider the new trend of series to be the pre-code horror books. That those are the ones that get all the attention. But EC originally stood for educational comics and was founded by Max Gaines. Unfortunately, Max died tragically in a boating accident in 1947, with his son William inheriting the company by 1950, William decided to take the company in a new direction. Into a new trend, he renamed the company Entertaining Comics, switched to publishing to horror, suspense, and science fiction, and military fiction, and crime fiction. The most notorious, of course, were the horror comics featuring decapitated heads, Vault of Horrors, Tales from the Crypt, crime stories, etc., etc., etc. Those are the things that got Congress involved, and that's why we had the code eventually get developed. The original educational comics founded by Max offered only family-friendly titles, including stories from the Bible, animal fables, pictures, and stories from world history, and saddle romances, to name a few. Although collectors tend to prefer the pre-code horror titles from EC, there is a clear market for these earlier family-friendly PC offerings under Max's tenure. Max wanted to publish comic books so he could market to schools and churches. He thought that was an untapped market for the comic book consumer. One of these titles was Pictures and the Stories of the Bible, the Complete Life of Christ edition. This past week, we saw a record sale for the only CGC 9.8 copy, reaching just shy of $3,000 at $2,880. A 9.8 from 1944, I don't care what it is, it's definitely worth that $3,000.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, this isn't up my alley of type of collecting, although I totally understand why somebody would want this, but very interesting, man. Gabe, what do you think?
It's just cool that this is something that came pre-horror EC, under Max's kind of regime of things.
Yeah.
And in the 9.8, another example of somebody having a way back machine. Getting these books, man. In 9.8.
Guys, when we do these lists, I want you to know that they are in no other order than alphabetical order. And going from one extreme to the other, from Mortal Kombat to this, was totally unintended, but very interesting. I like hearing these types of stories when it comes to these types of books. So
definitely pick up the old faith focused comics if you can get them in the dollar bins, because they sell really well.
Yeah.
Every time I list one, it's up for about a week and then it's gone, and it's usually at $10 to $15 to $20, if not more.
My favorite one is crosses and switchblades.
Yeah, that's a great one.
It's like the coolest cover. I love the kind of back and forth between the hoodlum, and the preacher. It's just like this really funny exchange to me. I think it's funny.
I think I might actually have that one game.
Yeah, that's a great one. That one's cool.
Interesting. I got to see that. But anyways, guys, Picture Stories from the Bible, Complete Life of Christ edition, 25-cent cover price edition from EC back in 1944. Had a top sale for a CGC 9.8 at $2,880. All right. What do we got next?
All right. So we go from Mortal Kombat to Jesus to Shadowman. But not the Shadowman I thought it was. I thought this is another Valiant Shadowman. But either way, we got Shadowman 16 glow-in-the-dark cover. This is from Acclaim / Valiant in 1997. So Valiant was formed in 1989 after Jim Shooter and a group of investors barely missed out on buying out Marvel. They would produce their first comic book, which was Magnus Robot Fighter, in 1991, which coincided with the 1990s comic book boom. They were eventually purchased out by Acclaim Entertainment, which developed several video games on the Valiant properties, including Shadowman, Turok. Dude, those Turok games were awesome. I love Turok.
Yep.
Exo Man of War and Shadowman. I'm going to add in there that there's also an Exo Man of War / Iron Man game as well. Either way, Shadowman made his first full appearance in 1992 and would go on to become one of the key characters of the Valiant universe. The original Shadowman, Jake Bonafide, made his first appearance in Exo Man of War #4. And there would be 3 other people to take up the mantle. Besides having a cool glow-in-the-dark cover, one of Valiant's many marketing innovations, Shadowman 16 is also Clayton Crane's first cover art.
Oh.
This book is difficult to find in high grade, as out of 12 universally graded copies, there are only 1 9.8 graded. So there's only 12 graded, and out of those 12, only 1 was able to get a 9.8. All right. Along with 2 9.8s that are signature series. Okay, so 3 9.8s. It's no wonder then that when a raw fine copy comes up for sale this week, it went for $163. This book checks all the boxes, being a pivotal Valiant character, hard to find in high grade, and Crane's first cover work. Good luck finding this one, everybody. I think more than anything, it's the Clayton Crane factor that sold this book. There's a lot of people, I've been seeing it these days lately, and I know you guys do it too, is looking for like cover artists' first cover work.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about that over on Tuesday. We were talking about how like you take, current artists, Dan Panosian, dude, Chris has been saying this as well. Like when Mark Spears started to kick off, start looking at what his first covers were. Mm-hmm. And here we're seeing Clayton Crane, who has been around for quite some time now. You know what I mean?
Or even the debate of Jenny Frisen's first cover work.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That was a very interesting story as well from the Cover Price video, because in her eyes, it's one, and obviously ours, the collectors, of what was printed first. Well, it's a different book, right? So it's very interesting. But Chris, like you were saying, right, when it comes to buying artists' first covers.
Yeah, you definitely need to get it while the getting's good. I think that anybody that's a fan of a specific artist and tends to collect that artist's work should go out of their way to try to get the first cover or even the first interior work, right? If you can afford it, if that artist has not popped yet. And there's so many fantastic artists out there. And I can say this from personal experience. When you bring an artist the first work that they ever did and asking them to sign it, they get this look on their face that's part, how did you get this? And I can't believe I get to see this right now. It's such a joy for them, and you kind of get to share that experience, and then they sign it, and it's just awesome. It's great. I love doing that when I can do it. And yeah.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think this is a great book to have, man. Like I said, Clayton Crane has not been around just for the last couple months. He's been around for quite some time. So not surprised to see such a sale, but I'm surprised to see the book as a whole because, I don't think I've ever come across one in the wild. But Shadowman, issue 16, glow-in-the-dark cover, Acclaim Valiant from 1997, had a top sale for a raw fine at $163. Oh boy, I see Michael Baker in the chat getting ready for this one. That is for sure. What do we got?
We have Spawn number 357. I'm going to go with Marcel.
Today, Junior. No, I'm just kidding. I have to, right? I have to. Here you
Herb
go.
Ervlinger, Bert Hermgeif, Irv Hermlinger, Bing Livehanger, Livelink, Bert Herkern, Bingo Lingfucker.
Sorry. So sorry.
I deserved it. The Marcel Todano Vargas, the 2024 New York Comic Con retailer thank you, unsigned version by Image in 2024. New high raw near mint, $920. Raw near mint, $920. In Todd McFarlane's enduring Spawn saga, issue 357 debuts Nero in a rare Retailers Are King variant. An unsigned copy hit an all-time high, outpacing the signed editions by $200. So for those of you doing the math, the signed copies sell on average for about $700. The unsigned copy just sold for more. Why? Probably because there's more signed copies than there is unsigned. In the ever-loving world of comics, few series have captured lasting cultural impact quite like Spawn. The visionary creation of Todd McFarlane. Debuting in 1992, it stood as a pillar of dark supernatural storytelling laced with otherworldly grit. Fast forward to October 2024, when Spawn 357 delivered a landmark moment in the saga, the debut of Nero. This special Retailers Are King edition emerged as an exclusive thank you variant, generating buzz at the New York Comic Con 2024 while being distributed to guests at the Lunar Dinner the evening before the event. While the majority of these 300 copies bore the signature of the legendary Toddfather himself, the rare unsigned versions that slipped into circulation have emerged as the ultimate prize for collectors, owing to them the extreme rarity. This week, an unsigned copy scored an all-time high of $420 raw. And as the signed copies have only reached an all-time high of $700, graded as a 9.8, you see how true Spawn enthusiasts continue to covet this hard-to-find book in any condition. Holy crap, wow. Man, those Spawn fans, they throw their money at their collection, don't they?
Yeah, you think? Look at that, man. It's crazy because it's the unsigned part too, right? Like this is not signed, and it's going for a premium, man. Gabe, I could see you almost rolling your eyes.
I just find it odd that the unsigned one is like the one that people are going for. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me at the moment.
Yeah. Particularly, I want the coffee stained version that Todd put his mug on while he was signing the other book.
That's what I'm saying. You can get one, tear off the cover, and be like, I have the only one that's missing the cover, or like the lowest grade. It's worth more. Like that just seems kind of odd to me. I'm just talking out loud. It's just kind of strange that the one that's not signed. I used to think it's because you couldn't get them CGC graded, but now that you have JSA, I thought that would be different, but I guess not.
Yeah.
Strange.
So I know that Todd's done a few Whatnot shows, and I was on for one of them. I actually won a few things, even though I'm not a huge Spawn fan. Don't at me. I went ahead and picked up a few things just to put away into my collection. And he was signing everything. He was signing, anything with Spawn on it, even if he didn't do the art. He was signing decks of cards. He was signing just T-shirts. He was signing everything. I think that show alone had like 5,000 items signed by him go out to the public. So is it possible that Todd McFarlane, having done this for 25 years now, is it possible that his signature is one of the most common signatures out there in the comic world?
Stan Lee.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I
I think I had just seen an amazing Spider-Man blank copy. It was Mr. Longshort who had shared it on Instagram, and it was just a Stan Lee signature on it. That's it. There was no art, absolutely nothing at all, and it sold for a premium.
Yeah, Stan Lee would sign whatever you put in front of him. I mean, comics he never worked on or any of that. He would just sign. So his is probably the most out there. But again, it comes down to the demand more than anything else.
Sure, yeah.
And with McFarlane, you can't get his stuff or at least how it used to be. I don't know if he still is this way, but it used to be where you can't get his stuff signed and graded like yellow label at CGC. Only at certain authorized events that he does like once a year or once every couple of years kind of thing. So
Yeah,
that's a little bit more rare, I would think. It'd be like a yellow label situation.
yep, exactly. And yeah, Baker, I remember this. There was a particular show on a Sunday where we saw the 351 per store variant sold for almost $4,400 back in April, man, which was absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But it is what it is, guys. Spawn 357, the Marcial Toledano Vargas 2024 New York Comic Con retailer thank you that was unsigned from Image in 2024 had a top sale for a run near mint at $920. All right,
I absolutely hate the fact that you pronounced that so easily. And I sat there and I struggled with it so bad that I got bingo lingoed on.
Yeah.
He let you drown on that one, bud.
Seriously.
After,
Not even a hand.
dude,
I said,
after,
help, and you're describing the water.
after the bingo lingo, I made sure to study it while you were reading. But all right, Gabe, bring me another game book. I want to see video games. Let's go.
All right, now and this is a Lando video game book right here. We're talking Tomb Raider #1. This is another Comics Pro edition, Dark Horse 2016. So new high and extremely rare Tomb Raider comic sells for 3 times the price that it sold for just 2 years ago. The iconic adventurer Lara Croft first rappelled into our world in 1996 with the video game Tomb Raider. Developed by Core Design, the game introduced a smart, athletic British archaeologist. She was a huge hit, and her success quickly led her to leap from the console to the printed page in 1997 with Top Cow Productions' Tomb Raider, alongside Witchblade. Hollywood soon followed up with a movie starring Angelina Jolie in 2001. It led to a sequel in 2003 and a reboot starring Alicia Vikander in 2018. That one was awesome. The latter offered a glitter origin story based on the 2013 game reboot, providing Laura's enduring appeal across all media. For collectors of Lara Croft, this book is a must-have. It is an extremely rare book, only handed out to retailers who attended the Comics Pro event in 2016. Reportedly, only 135 retailers were in attendance when the special variant cover was distributed. It is easy to see how rare this book is if you look it up on eBay. There is only one currently active listing. Otherwise, browsing through the CGC census, there are only 2 graded copies, both of them being a 9.8. A fan was lucky enough to score a raw near mint copy of this variant for $60, 3 times the amount it sold for in 2023. Lara Croft has had her time to shine in video games, but if she takes off in cinema once more, this is a nice book to add to your collection before it becomes a major chase book. I don't know. I thought, honestly, when I started reading this, I thought it was going to be a little bit more expensive or a little bit more impressive with the sale.
Yeah, it's only $60. It seems relatively cheap, but look, I get it. It's the Comics Pro variant. I don't get me wrong. The Dark Horse stuff 2016, it's interesting, but it never reeled me in as much as the
Michael Turner covers.
Yeah, man, dude, the Michael Turner covers for me were just some of the best. You had Andy Park on there. You had Dan Jurgens. Like, dude, there's so much greatness out of that run that I just love so much. But that's me. And again, given how hard it is to come across this particular cover, I think Ron Your Mint 60 is pretty impressive. It seems cheap, but still rather impressive.
Yeah. Did you get that? Are you getting that omnibus I showed you, Lando?
Dude, I saw that. I shared it, and I think I'm gonna cave, dude. I think I'm gonna cave. It's too good. It's too good. But
Yeah, I
anyways,
have that. I have that. The Tomb Raider / Witchblade issue. I have
yeah,
that.
I have one thanks to a good friend here who's a big supporter of the channel, JD. He sent me a copy, but it's not the regular cover A. It's a different one. It's still beautiful. Love it. So grateful to have that. But yeah, guys, Tomb Raider 1, the Comics Pro variant from Dark Horse 2016, had a top sale for a raw near mint at $60. Chris, take us home, man. Are we going to the Ophir Abyss? Let's go.
Yeah, probably. I think you might have a clip for this cover, if you can read my mind, because there's just something you can just barely see. Vampirella number 1, the J. Scott Campbell Hollow FX edition by Harris Comics in 2001. Long after shiny comic book covers made a splash in the early 90s, J. Scott Campbell and Harris Comics released this holographic edition of Vampirella. An early Campbell cover, J. Scott Campbell illustrated this variant around the time that he joined Marvel to create the series of covers for Amazing Spider-Man. This book has remained steady as both raw and graded copies have sold for an average of $100 for the last 2 years. That changed last week when a 9.8 sold for $340. For comparison, the regular J. Scott Campbell variant of this book currently sells for around $30 raw and $115 for graded 9.8s. It's the Hollow edition that exploded on the aftermarket last week. $340 for CGC 9.8.
That's crazy. This is an awesome cover though. Like, I don't think we have enough J. Scott Campbell Vampirella out there.
Yeah. Chris, I have to do it. You brought it up. So yeah, my only problem with this cover is
you can hardly see them nipples.
yeah, exactly. That's the only problem. That's the only problem. But it is very impressive, dude. $340, J. Scott Campbell, hollow foil. I get it. I totally get it. It is a neat cover. I've actually never seen this one from J. Scott Campbell. Did you guys?
No, I've never seen it.
I don't think I have either. I wonder if the hollow foil like ruins it, because sometimes the hollow foil just makes it look weird. I don't know. But this is a really, really nice image.
I got a feeling that Vampirella probably is not foil. I think the background is foil. I think Vampirella and her logo are not foil.
Right. But like, you know, like the Frankenstein monster in the background and the monsters are probably, I have to look at it in person, but a lot of times that it looks like we would kind of ruin the art and make it harder to see. Kind of like how like the foils are today, where the foil kind of seems to mute the color and it's a little more bland.
Sure.
Something like that maybe. But this is cool. I mean, this is one really nice Vampirella cover. Like, I'm not that guy that's all hot and bothered by hot chick covers, but this one's got me hot and bothered a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Like it. Vampirella J. Scott Campbell Hollow FX edition from Harris Comics 2001 with a top sale for a CGC 9.8 at $340. That's right, boys and girls. The Ophir Abyss is complete. So, if you made it to the Ophirs, hang tight, guys, because you just might see some books that are on the Shakers list that Chris is going to take us through. So maybe you get some redemption. Let's see.
Yeah. So before I jump into this, I just wanted to show you this real fast. This is the cross and the switchblade that we were talking about, Gabe.
Yeah, that's the one. The one where say you can cut me into 1,000 pieces, and each one will say "I love you" or whatever. Yeah.
So this is I have this for sale on my store right now. I knew I had it. I just had to figure out where it was, and it's on my eBay store. So it's in terrible shape, and I picked it up for pretty cheap, and I think I'm selling it for pretty cheap too. When you compare it to what the really good copies sell for.
Yeah, it's a cool cover. That's a cool book.
All right, so here we got our cover press, our sponsor for the show. They're the ones who write that fantastic script that we read every week, and we're going to go down to one of the best segments of their awesome tool here, which I use to collect and catalog every comic in my personal collection. Click on Daily Shakers. The data for Daily Shakers comes from the market, right? So nothing on the Daily Shakers list is like something that Cover Price or we are trying to push. This is all sales on eBay and sometimes Heritage and a few other comic auction platforms. And when it's a big price change, right? Last time sold for $5, now sold for $20. Those kinds of big differences. That's the kind of reasons why they pop on the Shakers list. And this is updated multiple times a day. So here we got some unusual suspects on the top. Zap Comics. We were talking about Zap Comics earlier today, right? Earlier in our show, right? Vampirella #1. Obviously, we were talking about Vampirella recently. As we get closer to Halloween, you're going to see more Vampirella pop up on the Shakers list. That's just a trend that I've noticed over the last few years.
Mm-hmm. That first group, $4,000 for a raw copy of no grade. Like, listen, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's really good. And then Ghost Rider #5. This is a 9.4 selling for $10,000.
I remember that 9.8 went for $250,000.
Yeah, dude. The Marvel Spotlight, it's crazy, dude. I absolutely need one in the collection, but man, I almost feel like it's gonna get harder and harder, especially now that like Mephisto's in the MCU. Are they gonna build towards, the Midnight Suns? I think so.
They got it. It's got to happen.
I got one, man. Waiting for that Ghost Rider announcement, baby.
Yeah.
So we have first appearance of Sabretooth, 9.8 recently sold for $3,000. The real first appearance of Wolverine, 80, selling for $2,500 and 9.4. Hey, I've got this one. I picked it up recently. I bought this at a local con. I was lucky to get it for $80. Mine's in not great condition, but it doesn't matter. It's the first appearance of the Modern Scarecrow from the Silver Age, and it's one of my cornerstone pieces of my my collection. And we were talking earlier about 60s and 70s comics that aren't a key but are selling for really high just because there's CGC 9.8s.
Yeah,
this Thor is a perfect example. $2,400, 1968 for CGC 9.8.
Yeah, you don't really see Thor on the cover.
Yeah,
it's Morg.
Yeah, dude, I collect. I'm trying to collect ASM full run. That 100 always tends to pop up at the wrong times for me, man. Like every time it pops up, I'm like, oh, okay, this is like not a bad price, but it's never hit a point where I'm like ready to throw my money at it. What did that ASM 100 sell for?
ASM 100.
It's the third row.
Hold on. Right there.
CGC 9.6 sold for $1,600.
That's not too bad for a 9.6 because, man, that all black cover with all the white faces is like, it's always covered in fingerprints. It's always like super beat up. Like it's really hard to find a nice copy of that. Even like a nice copy that has like minor wear and tear looks really bad because of the coloring and stuff.
Yeah, and Nintendo Power, dude. We just got the casting announcement, right, for the film of Zelda. Yeah. So I'm happy about that. There was rumors. There were rumors.
Bo, what's her last name? Bo.
I have no idea, but I do know that the previous rumors were very interesting based on the cast. I'm just happy that the Master Sword is going to be the only sword that Link is looking for in this film.
The Master he's after.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Keep going. This is the infamous squirrel, the seal cover for Alf. This always sells for a premium. A 9.8 just sold for $1,200.
I got a newsstand of that thing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I love that book, dude. It's so awesome. And it's also, not only is it like this controversially weird book, it's also like towards the end of the run too. It's like the second to last issue or something.
Let's see what else we got here. Look at this. Comic Cavalcade 1946. That's interesting. Look, you got Silver Age Flash, Silver Age Green Lantern,
and a really high Wonder Woman.
A really
her eyes are just crossed out, dude.
Yeah, I'm just gonna blame the low quality glass. It's her.
No, it's what's on that glass. That snow is something else on that glass. Like, she is balls deep, dude. Interesting one on here though is that first appearance of Supergirl with the movie.
Yep.
We know the movie. I don't want to get into spoilers. but we know that movie's coming out, and that's a tough book, dude. That's a tough book. Look, a 2.5 for over $1,000.
Yeah,
That's only going to go up. Like that's
absolutely.
that is no pun intended because there's a rocket on the cover, but that thing is going to rocket up soon.
Yeah, no, I really think James Gunn is gonna do a fantastic job with Supergirl, man. Already, just that reference of like Red Sun and stuff, like you know where this is going. This is gonna be good times.
Well, we know it's based on the Woman of Tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely,
series, which is excellent. And it's Tom King. And he
awesome,
wrote that book, so
awesome casting too. I love Miley Acott. She's a phenomenal actress. She's gorgeous. She's funny. This is gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, look at this. I thought we were done with the Taylor Swift Dazzler things, but maybe some action's happening again, huh? What's up with that?
Yeah, it's still $1,000 for 9.8 for Dazzler. Like,
yeah,
that's crazy. That should be like a $400 book right now. just out of spite, like everybody being like really kind of like butthurt. They really bought into the Taylor Swift idea, and they all got kind of burnt.
Tell us how you really
there'd
feel.
Be some kind of vendetta against that book by now.
Here's a couple other examples of the 9.8 thing that we've been talking about it again and again. You got a 9.8 Marvel 2-in-1 Thing and the Man-Thing #1. I know it's #1 of the series, but there's not a lot of valuable comics in this run. #1 selling for $840 for 9.8. It's just because it's a 70s book.
Yeah, I love Kilted Corgi, who's ready to cast Sydney Sweeney for everything. I'm on board with that.
Sydney Sweeney for Shakers next week. Okay,
you got to find some Sydney Sweeney clips to put on the show.
100%. Yes, please.
On the back of the success of the Superman movie, we saw an announcement saying that there's going to be an HBO series featuring the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah.
We are going to see more pops in the Green Lantern mythos pop up. So we had a 9.2 recently sold for $780, which is crazy.
Well, we know the Lantern show is going to be about Jon Stewart, and it just finished filming. So we're probably going to catch a trailer pretty soon. Be on the lookout for Green Lantern stuff, everybody. That's a series that's. I'm gonna say that Green Lantern is not the most popular character out there, but I think it's gonna turn into everybody's favorite character sooner or later. And there
are some really strong stories from Green Lantern. The Blackest Night story, the War of the Lantern story, the
Sinestro War, Emerald Twilight, which I know you love just as much as I do, Chris.
Absolutely. The lead up to Zero Crisis, really good story there.
Steve Englehart run is really good too.
And Rebirth
run,
I would say that Rebirth is one of the strongest ones as well.
Oh God, man, I hated Rebirth because it just rewrote everything about Kyle. But it's one of the most pinnacle.
It's such a strong story, though. I mean, I know that there was a lot of rewriting of history, but really strong story.
Yeah, that's a great book. Yeah, and I've been looking. I'll tell you guys in the after show. Never mind. I'm gonna get stuck on Green Lantern stuff all day long.
So I also want to highlight this awesome Punisher Jerome Opina 1 of 50 variant. There are a couple comic style covers that I am a real sucker for. I really like Air Jordan and Converse covers. I also really like graffiti covers. I love graffiti covers. This is an awesome cover, and to see a 9.8 sell for $700,
wild,
absolutely wild. And Harry, to wrap up our Shaker report and the show, why don't we celebrate in the honor of Lady Laura, blonde in a red dress?
Yeah, makes perfect sense. There you have that. Hits the bingo card. Yeah,
there you go.
How much was that sale?
$700 for CGC 7.
Man, I'm gonna do a whole Shakers hour on my channel one day. I just love going through that stuff.
You should.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's amazing. I love going through it. Like, I'm not plugging because we're on Cover Price's channel right now, but it is very fun to go through.
Yeah.
That's why I do my Sunday show running through most of the sales, because it updates.
Yeah, and the best part about it, exactly, it updates. So you could do a show for an hour, Gabe, and then like 8 hours later, do another show for an hour.
Yeah, different. It could be different every day. You know.
Yeah. Exactly. But guys, that was the Shaker Show. So thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, everybody who's here in the chat, we show you nothing but love. We appreciate you guys. Those of you catching the replay, commenting below, let us know what you guys thought of the books. And before we say goodbye, let's go around the table. Chris, take it away.
First of all, a nice shout out to Alex Lodomir there for saying that they tune in for all y'all, all of us. We do this for you guys in the chat because you're here, you're live with us, you're hanging out, your comments are highlighted because you guys are the best chat on YouTube, and you're right here on the Shaker Report, not that top 10 show. That show's for suckers. You're on the Shaker Report. And I'm just really grateful to have this every week. I hope you guys are enjoy it as much as I do. Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Hell yeah, man. I agree. There's a douche on the top 10 show with his cap always backwards. I hate that dude. But anyways, Gabe, take us home, man.
That was a really mean thing to say about Marty. Jesus.
No, stop. Marty's always running it frontwards, man.
I mean, I can't say much after what Chris said, man. Chris said it all. Thanks everybody for showing up. This was fun. And I hope to see you guys again next week, man. See some more cool Shaker books coming up. Man, I'm telling you, be on the lookout for that Tomb Raider stuff too. There's some great Tomb Raider covers. I was looking it up right now, trying to find that omnibus I was telling you about, Lando.
I'm still trying to collect the whole run.
Oh, you know what really sucks? Tomb Raider. Yeah. She's stupid. Wow.
Dump them at $1.
Yeah, only perverts get those books.
You know they're going to reboot that movie series here in like 2 years, right?
Yep.
Starring Sydney Sweeney, hopefully.
Probably.
Yeah, please.
Right? You know what's up.
Exactly. Just that her, you know.
Get her in a white tank top and get her wet t-shirt contest. We need that again.
Yeah, but we got to make the like triangle boobs, right? Like the PlayStation.
Oh, like the video game.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody was like, "Dude, if you beat the game a certain way, you see her naked." Like that was like the whole thing when I was a kid.
I love it. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment below, and you'll catch us again next week. Don't forget, Cover Price goes live multiple times, so definitely hit the bell so you'll be notified when they do. And if not, well, tune back next Tuesday, top 10 with Marty, Laura, and that douche that wears his cap backwards. Have a great weekend, guys. Adios.
For the entire crew, this is Tebow saying keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.